Hi friends, I'm the vegan cauliflower rice today with the peas and corn and pistachios. That's the third part later. Now first, cauliflower rice, very easy to make if you have a food processor. Here I have a quarter of a head just taken out of the rosettes, the florets, and some of the stem. Some of the stem I cut out, yeah, but it's up to you. It tastes great anyway. If you want to have more of the rice-like texture, cauliflower rice, then you would rather take out the stem a little bit, yeah, the biggest part, the biggest chunks. Here is the S blade. That is the tool I use for making rice, cauliflower rice. But if you don't have a food processor, you can just chop it up with a chef knife on the cutting board. Yeah, that's easy. You can do that. But before I put the cauliflower in here, I tell you a special thing today, what I did not do before. I want to process it together with cashew nuts. Here, cashew nuts. And as they are a little bit harder, firmer, they are soft too, but a little bit harder than the cauliflower, and they don't need to be in a rice texture. Put them into the processor before the cauliflower and give it some nice processing before they are finer, and add to the cauliflower texture in a better way. So just a moment. Woo! Yeah, so instead of the cashews, I could also use a little bit of oil. I don't really recommend oil as from the medical point of view, because oil is almost pure calories and no fiber. And fiber is what makes the fat and the sugar we have to eat for our energy healthy. Yeah, without fiber, that is not really healthy. So we need the fiber, and pure oil, that's why I'm not so recommended. But I use it sometimes for the textures, just to make it a little bit more shiny. Yeah, that can be a little drop of oil only can be a very nice difference in the texture. So we have all the fiber in the whole food we use. Just a drop of oil is not a nutrient in that way, just a little bit more refined. But if you don't want to use oil, I rather do it not so often. I use the cashew nuts. They're also high in fat, and they add it nice to the rice-like texture to make it a little bit more yummy, the cauliflower rice. You can use the cauliflower rice without anything, yeah, but to make it a little bit more yummy. And the second addition here, to make it a 3 again, it's a pinch of salt. It's not even, maybe it's a quarter teaspoon, yeah, not a half teaspoon, it would be too much. Really, cauliflower in that quantity, in general, it's very sensitive to salt. So just a little bit, not too much. You can overdose with the salt and the cauliflower pretty soon. So I'll be very careful with the salt. And now the rice. And here also, careful, just 2 or 3 rounds, because otherwise, 2 or 3 seconds, otherwise no more rice. Let's see. Woo! That was one dancing round. Here what we have. This is the rice-like texture. See? Well, it's okay. Maybe it's a little bit too long, but you can taste it. Good. Good. Very nice. Very nice together with the cashews and a little bit of salt. It's not salty, it's just a little bit broken down. There's sometimes a little bit rigid flavor of the cauliflower. Yeah, like cruciferous vegetables are very healthy. Cauliflower especially, I love it, especially raw. It's even better to eat. It's a very delicious food. It can replace potatoes if you used to eat potatoes on a daily basis. Like in Germany, it was even we had to eat potatoes. That was a law 200 years ago, because the king wanted the Germans to spread all over the world. So they had to eat potatoes because they grow so well. They came from South America, and then he found that was a superfood for the growth of the population and the spreading of the people, so he made a law. You can't believe, but that's why Germans love potatoes so much. Of course, they're nice, but you can also use cauliflower, raw cauliflower instead. It's super balancing and full of nutrients, a lot more than potatoes, of course, and many health benefits: anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory. It's cleansing. It's making the gut structure or the lining of the stomach. Yeah, very healthy. So yeah, and if I eat the cauliflower raw, I have no food cravings anymore. If people ask me what to do with the food craving, I always say, "Oh, I eat cauliflower raw, a nice cauliflower dish, finish with the cravings." You can try. So that's the main thing I had to do today was the cauliflower rice to make it. See, I show you again. It looks like now. It's a nice helping, nice serving. And now I add a second part, that is here. First is some sweet peas and some corn. Yeah, best of course fresh, but sometimes I use them raw and I use them frozen because they're very inexpensive then, even more inexpensive, and always available. Yeah, we have in the freezer a package of frozen corn and peas always there. I can mix up some nice dish in minutes. That's easy. That's why I have them always there. But if I get them fresh, of course, that's first. Yeah. But sometimes, we have to help ourselves. And half an onion. And here I take care that I really chop it very small. You mince it almost. Yeah. It is chopped, but you can also mince it because the structure of the rice and the peas and the corn is already pretty fine, yeah, small pieces, so the onion can easily be dominant a little bit, so cut it very small and you got the problem solved. And you have a very nice flavor combination, gentle flavors, the corn gentle, the pea gentle, and a similar texture. The cauliflower also softened by the salt a little bit, broken down this rigid flavor, and the soft, even softer, creamier cashew. Very nice combination. I highly recommend. I have a new favorite dish. Now I have two parts, the cauliflower, the corn, the peas and the onions, and the third part, that is the highlight, pistachios. Pistachios are very precious, they're very expensive too. Yeah, I don't use them that often because they're really high, but there's one thing about pistachios I only recently learned, I didn't know before, that beats everything. Yeah, the only plant we know has huge amounts of melatonin is pistachios. You eat only 2 pistachios you need to eat. Yeah, you got me right. 2 pistachios are needed to have your full amount of melatonin you need in a day. I mean, we produce melatonin by ourselves in the pineal glands and everywhere, other locations. But in a jet lag, for example, when you cannot really sleep, you stay open, you stay awake, you're confused, then this hormone, this enzyme, comes into play. Yeah, melatonin is what regulates our sleep rhythm. So it's very important to have melatonin, and we age also if we have not enough melatonin. Aging process is speeded up, so speds up. So that is not very nice. So it's important to have melatonin, plenty of melatonin. So pistachios are not only very delicious and precious, they're also very healthy. Nuts in general, yeah, are super healthy, and scientists, the Dietary Association, I guess it was in the United States, Dr. Greger told that recently, they say that the third cause of death is insufficient dietary supplementation with nuts. So if you eat too little nuts, the risk to die early, premature, is higher. And it's the third leading cause of early death is lack of regular eating of nuts and seeds. So nuts are very healthy, recommended daily. Don't be afraid of eating nuts. It's super healthy. Most of the people don't eat enough nuts. So this is what I have for lunch today. Would you like that too? It's a cauliflower rice with peas and corn and pistachios. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed a little bit. You can also subscribe and be vegan on YouTube. Give me a thumbs up and you will have a video every single day. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest and Twitter.